Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we got a whole bunch of MEUS stuff. Boom! We're going to check out some MEUS stuff today. And yeah, we're probably going to do a couple different videos here, so let's get on with it. So in this video, we're going to be checking out the new MEUS ESC for brushed motors, as well as a new 8 kilogram servo. So this is going to be some pretty cool stuff. If you want to check out any of the other videos, we'll put links over here or cards or whatever. Yeah, you can check them out. You can check out the tires, check out the axles. And yeah, we're going to dive into these guys. I am super excited. This is like under $25 for this ESC. And so it's going to be a great option for anybody that's doing a ground up build that needs a super small brushed ESC, or if you're just looking to upgrade, you can easily put this into an SCX24 that allows you to swap to an external, the V1 and the V3. Those two are going to be able to just plug straight in. You don't have to swap out your transmitter. You'll be able to use your stock transmitter, all that good stuff. So that's a great option for those two trucks. If you do have a V2, which is the blue receiver and transmitter, those ones you'll have to swap out to a new transmitter. And we're probably going to end up throwing this guy into a TRX4M. It's actually a clone. This guy here, what better truck than kind of this kind of crappy clone to go ahead and upgrade with the new MEUS axles as well as the servo and ESC. It should be good, but we are going to have to swap over to a new transmitter for that, and we're going to go ahead and use one of these guys, the new MEUS transmitter that they've got out, which is a really awesome transmitter. We also have a video on that, so I'll put a card over here for the video on these guys. Let's go ahead and open this up. Actually, before we do that, here's some specs. So we're looking at a 25 amp 120 peak amp ESC. It's going to be able to run all these different motor types, all the way up to a 370. Use it 2418s, whatever you want to fit it in, really. It's 2S and 3S capable. It's got an ESC BEC output of 6 volts, 7.4, and 8.4 at 3 amps. Now, it mentions the 8.4 is only available on 3S, which is interesting. My guess is you're not going to get the full 8.4 is why they're mentioning that, because if you run a 2S max is at 8.4. But if you're at 8 volts on your 2S, you should still get 8 volts if you have your settings set to 8.4 on here. So I'm just, my guess is because they want to not false advertise full 8.4 volts if, most lipos aren't sitting at 8.4 on 2S, so 3S will get you that. Anyway, so here's our size, and we'll verify that. We'll measure it when we get in there. Weight is only 15 grams, which is awesome, and cable length, 10 centimeter power supply, 10 centimeter output, and then a 25 centimeter BEC, which is our receiver cable. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this guy up. Always some awesome MEUS stickers. I love this sticker so much. It's like a metal sticker, just freaking sweet. Instructions. Bunch of cables here. Yeah, that thing is tiny. Super tiny. Everything's labeled. Our motor, positive and negative. Our battery, positive and negative. The motor doesn't really need to be labeled positive and negative because you can flip either way. So if you install this guy and your truck's going backwards, you can always just swap the wires and your truck will go the other direction. Also, you can switch it on your transmitter if you have a switchable channel 2 on your transmitter. The positive and negative on the battery is super important. If you end up plugging this guy in backwards, you're going to fry it. That's with pretty much any ESC. And then we've got our 25 centimeter servo cable here that plugs into our receiver. This guy is tiny though. Here, let's compare this. So just sitting over here on my desk, our next closest competitors to these in size is going to be the Furitek Lizard Pro. Here's a Python Pro, and then a MicroPython. Now the MicroPython is a totally different class of price range, right? Like it's 4 times the price, 3 times the price. So and it is brushless, but they're very similar in size. They're almost they're the same thickness basically, just a few millimeters thinner on the micro, and then just a tad shorter as well. But when you compare this to what we're used to using, which mostly is ESCs of this size or bigger, the real direct comparison that I really want to show you guys is another brushed ESC, and super popular, right? Because it's in the $25 price range. It's this guy right here. That's the Injora. But look at this. The MEUS is half the size, easily half the size of the Injora. So this is more comparing apples to apples, same price range, same use case where we're going to be using a brushed motor 2 to 3S. And yeah, so definitely definitely a nice form factor. I really appreciate that. Now, if you're looking for something more, you want to go brushless, I would look at like the MicroPython. But for those that don't budget, those wanted to stay brushed, that don't really, can't justify spending 4 times the amount, 3 times the amount for the little bit of savings. I mean, definitely worth the 25 bucks or less for this guy here. This is going to be awesome. So long as it performs. But knowing MEUS, it should. So let's get a little bit deeper in this. The other bonus to this over that Injora is it's programmable. So we can change our BEC voltage, our forward brake versus forward brake reverse, boot when power on. So that's basically, it's going to turn on as soon as you plug it in. You don't have to hit the power button, which is nice if you've got this guy tucked away somewhere in a super scale build. You can just have it always on. So you just plug it in and it's on. You don't have to try to fiddle for that button there, which is great. And then DAC, which is downhill assist control, which is kind of like your drag brake essentially. So turning that on will help give you a little bit more drag brake, I believe is what's going on there. Okay, actually mentions it right here. DAC function. DAC is an ESC function that can more effectively control the speed during low speed downhill driving, reducing the impact of inertia on descents and thus enables a more precise and accurate control of the vehicle. So yeah, definitely nice that it's adjustable. Again, another huge benefit over the Injora that's in the same price point. Also comes with a bunch of different plug adapters, which is great. So we've got 2 different batteries, one for the SCX24, one for the TRX4M. And then obviously if you're using the red JST, you've got that. So 3 different batteries really. And then we've got 2 different motor plugs in addition to this one here. One is basically the SCX24 style motor. And then this guy here is for the TRX4M. So kind of got all your bases covered there, which is super nice. Let's go ahead and pause on this, scoot this guy over. Let's go ahead and open this up. Well, let's go through the specs first. So this is the M3280S 8 kilogram servo. Here's all the specs there. And this guy can operate all the way up to 8.4 volts as well. So that's nice. We're gonna get tons of torque out of it. Should have a pretty good speed. Mentions it right here. Where's it at? Operating speed, 0.075 seconds at 60 degrees. More stickers. We always love the stickers. Comes with our plastic servo horns, all of our screws, and there we go. Now this is a plastic case servo, but it's going to give you good torque over the stock. So again, we're going to use it in our little TRX knockoff here. The servo is horrible that's in here, so this will be a welcome upgrade for sure. And we'll go ahead and kind of show you the speed and power of that on the bench once we get that installed. But I did want to show this off in case you are interested in a new servo that's a good budget-friendly servo that is up to 8.4 volts. Especially if you're going with the new ESC, you might as well get a servo that can go up to 8.4. Now the instruction sheet does have how to set up the ESC from setting your throttle range and neutral points or your end points all the way to setting your parameters here. And we'll go through all this in depth. I do want to get it installed in the truck first, and then we'll go through all this. It should be pretty simple. It's all done through the button press on the power, kind of a long press versus a short press. And yeah, it looks a little intimidating here, but it should be super simple. So a couple other little things I wanted to point out before we get too far. Fully waterproof for all conditions. So the ESC, totally waterproof, which is awesome. I also like that the servo comes with hex hardware versus Phillips head hardware. Always asking for that, so I love that. One thing I wish servo manufacturers would do, which I've seen it before, but it's not very common, do the servo horns in black as well. Nobody wants white servo horns. Even if you're part of the white servo horn crew, which I am, I run a lot of white servo horns, but even if you are, you kind of wish they just came black. If they're going to be white, we'll run them white. We have no problem running white servo horns. But if they came in black, that would be nice. Most people don't want white. So anyway, so we're actually going to swap over our axles as well. Not going to do it in this video. We'll put it over in a video over here. And you can check that out later, but we're going to swap over to the nylon isokinetic TRX4M axles. These guys right here. I'm going to swap those over and then we'll get back to these electronics. Now we're installing this servo into the stock mount. Just know on the TRX, the servo needed to have a little bit of space made in the holes for the screws to go through. The holes were a little further out than here, so I just took a drill bit and just kind of took out some material, basically moved the hole back just a little bit on each side, and then that gave me the ability to put my screws straight in. We are going to have to use this white servo horn because the servo horn that came on the other servo, on the stock servo, is different spline count. So we're going to use a stock servo horn here. And then when you're looking at these axles, when I put them on here like so, we're not going to be able to put that servo horn on after we get it on the axle because of the way these axles sit. So we won't be able to get our screwdriver in. So we do have to get our servo horn on there and tightened up before we get it installed, which means we got to plug this guy in, make sure all of our center points are good, and then we can put our servo horn on. So we're going to coil this guy up. It's one of my little things I like to do. If I can't route my wires nicely, I'll just take a driver and I'll just coil up my servo wire and get it nice and tight. And this really takes a lot of length out of the cable, so it really helps kind of clean up the way it looks underneath there. So you just kind of coil it up nice and tight, and you can tighten it down, and then take a lighter and just kind of heat it just a little bit. So we'll go like this, and then we'll just heat it up with a lighter here. Now, not too much. You're not trying to melt the wire. You just want it to kind of reset its form. Okay, so just make it nice and tight again. Kind of stretch it, we're tightening it. Hold this guy. We'll heat it up again. Again, not too long. You're not trying to melt it. You just want it to, and then tighten it again, and it'll hold its form pretty well. Okay. Boom, like so. And plug her in. So now our servo is nice. Our servo wire is nice and kind of controlled, right? It's not just crazy everywhere. And we didn't have to trim anything. It's still got plenty of freedom of movement. All right, we're all hooked up here. Everything's set up, good to go. Got our servo installed. Got our ESC installed, our MEUS receiver and transmitter here. Let's go ahead and power it up. It's just a press of that button, and we are totally powered up. We are in a forward reverse setup, but like I said, we can change that in the programming. So we'll get into the programming here. Servo seems nice and responsive. Plenty of power. Doing some pull-ups there. All right. Let's go ahead and look at setting this up. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you install a new ESC is set your endpoints. It basically is setting to the ESC what your transmitter's physical center, forward, and reverse are. Okay, so it doesn't know what the physical limitations are for the center, forward, and reverse on your transmitter, so we have to teach it that basically. That's going to be this guy right here, the ESC setup. It's setting up your throttle range and neutral point settings. Very simple, okay? You want to make sure that your trim is set to 0 on your throttle here, which we are currently, for some reason, not. Let's see. Oh, we are. We're set to 0. For some reason, it doesn't look like it's set to 0, though. Our endpoints are different? No. Very odd. Maybe we need to calibrate our transmitter here, actually. I'll flip this guy over. Okay. So this is setting the endpoints for the transmitter, so the software knows where its endpoints are. Set error. Let's try again. Okay. Oh, and then our steering. Full left, full right. You can see it wasn't set to full reverse there, so now it's going to know where our 0 and reverse is. There we go. Now we're full range in reverse, so that's awesome. Okay, so now when we go back to here, yeah, our throttle is set to 0. So you want to make sure your transmitter is all properly set up. Okay, once you're properly set up on your transmitter with a true 0 and your full range there, you can go ahead and set up your ESC for that. So the way we do this is as follows. To enter calibration mode, you're basically going to have to hold the button down and plug this in at the same time. So I like to kind of get my battery ready here, and we can hold the button down and plug it in. Don't hold it for longer than 3 seconds. You can basically let it go as soon as you start to hear that beeping. Actually, I think we held it too long. Let's try again. Get it ready. Hold the button down. Plug it in. Let it go. Okay, that fast beep, that's calibration mode. So you're going to want to make sure your transmitter's set to neutral or 0, and you can go ahead and hit the button once. It'll beep, beep, beep. Now you can go ahead and go full reverse or full brake. It'll beep twice, and then give full throttle. And it'll beep 3 times, let go, and it's going to go ahead and shut itself down and reset. So I need to interject here real quick, and you'll see this as the video continues. But if you notice in the instructions here, it mentions first set your center, then the next one is set your full throttle, then set your full reverse. And we did it opposite. We set our 0, then we set our reverse, then we set our full throttle. If you try to set it and it doesn't beep when you go full throttle, then you have to do it in reverse like we did. The thing is that means that your ESC and motor are hooked up backwards. So you'll end up with reverse, right? Like you'll end up giving it throttle and you'll go reverse, and you'll end up giving it reverse and you'll go forward, which isn't really a problem because you can just switch it on your transmitter usually. If you're running forward brake reverse mode though, where you have forward brake, then reverse, then it'll mess you up under throttle when it's backwards like that. You'll have forward, brake, reverse, right? That makes it all backwards. So just know that when you're setting your parameters, if you do the 0, click, full throttle, click, and it doesn't beep when you try to click it, there's no beeps to do your reverse, then you should try doing it the opposite where you do 0, click, reverse, click, throttle, click. And that should do it, because it won't let you, the ESC won't let you calibrate forward as reverse. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Either way, if it seems like it's not going to the next beep when you're full throttling, it means that you need to reverse the channel on your transmitter. And then you can full throttle and it'll beep and then set reverse. Anyway, we'll get back to it. You'll see more as I continue. So then you turn it back on. I would pick it up off the ground just in case you mess something up here, but pick your truck up, go ahead and turn it on. And if you're not going anywhere, you probably did it right. And now we have our full range of throttle and our neutral or 0. So pretty simple. Again, I'll go through it one more time with you guys. Super easy. Hold your button down, plug it in, let it go before 3 seconds. If you hold it too long, it'll go to a single beep and stop beeping, or it'll slow beep actually. That's what'll come next, but we're good to go here. Make sure you're nice and neutral. Hit the button, full reverse, hit the button, full throttle, hit the button, let go, and it'll shut off, reset, and we're golden. So super easy. You do need to do that whenever you change receiver or transmitter to make sure that the ESC knows its endpoints and 0. All right, let's go ahead and go into the settings now. So all these guys here are BEC, voltage, our mode, forward brake reverse or forward reverse, and then our boot when power on, which we want that. We're going to go to 8 volts here. We're going to keep it in forward brake, but I'll show you forward brake reverse, and then we're going to have it go power on automatically, and then we're going to leave that DAC on, but we'll check it out and see if we feel a difference in the drag brake essentially. All right, so to do this, it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to get your battery ready here. You're going to hold your button down, but this time you're going to hold it down until we get past those 3 beep or those fast beeps. Went to a slow beep, we can let go. So now it's beeping once. That means we're in the first parameter, okay? If you hit the button fast, oh, we shut off. We waited too long. So if you wait, oh, there we go. Hold on, did we? Yeah, we waited too long. Let's try again. Hold the button down, plug it in. Now we can let go. Now if we single click or quick click it, it'll go through the 3 different settings here. 6 volt, 7.4, and 8. So now we're on 8 volt, 8.4 volt. So if we let it sit like that, we'll be on 8.4 volts. Ooh, I can hear it. Yeah. Pretty sure that's a little bit higher. Again, we're not running 3S, so it's going to be hard to tell, but I can tell it's a little faster. So like I said before, I think that you know, it's going to run off the max voltage of whatever your battery is. If your battery is only at 7.4 volts, then obviously your BEC is only putting out 7.4 volts. You can't put out the full 8.4. But if we throw a 3S in there, let's do that real quick. We can definitely see if there's going to be a big difference. So we have a storage charged 3S here, which is basically 11.1 volts. And power this guy on. Tuck our battery in for safety. Oh yeah, you can feel it in there. Awesome. So yeah, it's just going to matter on whether you've got full voltage on your battery or not, but setting it to that 8.4, if your servo can handle 8.4, not a bad idea. All right, let's go ahead and go into the next setting, which is going to be our mode, forward, reverse, forward, brake, reverse. Again, get your battery ready, hold it down, plug it in. Okay, so we're on first setting, or first parameter, setting number 3. If we hold this for long, we're waiting too long. Sorry, we'll do it again. If you long press it, you go to the next parameter. So that's what we're going to look at here. We're going to go to the next. And you can actually scroll through and change all your settings and then just reset once you're done. Okay, we'll long press. That's setting 1, setting 2, setting 3, setting 4. So we want to go to, or parameter, sorry. We're going to go to parameter 2 now, which is mode. So that's parameter 2. We let go, and now it's going to beep. Beeps once. We'll fast press it. Beeps twice, fast press it. Beeps once, because there's only 2 settings for this parameter. We'll do forward, brake, reverse, which is setting, or setting 2 on this parameter, and then we can long press, and we'll go into the next parameter, which is going to be boot wind power on, which will be setting, or parameter 3. There's parameter 3. It's set to off. We'll press it once. That sets it to on. Now we'll go to parameter 4. Long press. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can let go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on. DAC is on. We'll short press to put it off. 2 beeps is the second one. And then we can long press. And we're back to parameter 1, which is on setting number 3, 8.4 volts. Okay? So we should be good there. We can let it time out. Looks like it timed out. Now let's go ahead and turn it on, or we'll unplug it and see if our auto on is working. Not so much. Let's see if our forward brake reverse is working. Forward brake, no, forward reverse. Looks like it did not. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. So we need to swap our motor wires because we're doing reverse, brake. So what it thinks is our transmitter is opposite. So we need to actually switch here. Oh man. All right. Let's go ahead and reverse our channel here. Channel 2. And then brake, forward, brake, reverse. Now the truck is going backwards. So we need to try to calibrate it again, or we're going to have to swap our wires on our motor here. So let's try to see if we can, if the calibration will allow us to swap, to reverse that. That way we could have forward, brake, reverse, and the truck would be going the correct direction. So we're going to go ahead and unplug it. Plug it in, let go. It's asking to calibrate. We'll press the button. We'll reverse, press the button. Oh, it doesn't want to recognize it. Yup. So we will have to swap our wires if we wanted to have that proper forward, brake, reverse. So that's as simple as swapping your wires here. You can either unsolder them from your motor, or you can swap them on the pins here. That's unfortunate. I was hoping that you would be able to, when you calibrate the ESCs forward and reverse, it would allow you to just set them, but it recognizes that your transmitter is outputting a certain signal, a certain frequency for that range, and it will not let you do it because it thinks it's the opposite. Anyway, that's frustrating. But we can swap this out. We'll just swap these two pins here. Super simple. You can use a safety pin to do it, or an X-Acto even. And then we can get our proper direction out of our rig here. Boom. Boom. And now we have forward, brake, reverse. Forward, brake, reverse. I wonder why our auto on's not working. Maybe we didn't actually set it properly. Oh, it is. It is. That was weird. Okay. Yeah, okay, awesome. So that is working. And then our DAC should be off, which I don't know if I can really feel a difference. This is a big motor, so it's going to be hard to feel. Okay, let's go ahead and try to change it back and turn it on. We want parameter 4, so we're going to long press and hold until we hit 4 beeps. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it says it's off. That's 2 beeps, so we're on our off, right? 1, 2. Go ahead and press it once. And downhill assist control should now be on again. Oh, I get it. After you've changed settings, you have to manually turn it on at least once before your auto on will work. That's why it did that. And now we have downhill assist control. It feels like there's a little bit more drag brake. It's hard to tell. Again, this is a big motor, but you can try it for yourself. Try it with and without the downhill assist control. See how it feels to you. If you like it the way it is, then just leave it the way it is. But that's basically how you do the settings. It's really not that confusing once you get in there and just start doing it. I know it seems overwhelming here, but it's not too bad. And then you can always restore your factory settings. Okay. If you hold it for more than 3 seconds when it's plugged in and off, 1, 2, 3. I guess we reset it there, which is different than holding the button when you plug it in. Yep, now it's not powering on. We'll verify our forward brake reverse is reset. Yep, we're back to forward reverse instead of forward brake reverse since that's default. And our BEC, does it feel a little slower? Yeah, a little less power there. Okay, so there you go. Now you know all the settings. I know that was a long one, but I wanted to be comprehensive and make sure you guys fully understood how to do the settings here. Again, once you do it, it's super, super simple. It's just reading this and, you know, comprehending it that way. Some people don't do well with that. Sometimes they need to be shown. So again, it's as simple as hold the button down, plug it in while you're holding it, let go, and that'll get you into calibration. Or same thing, but instead of letting go, hold it, and you'll go into your parameter settings. Long press will move you to the next, or a long hold will move you to the next parameter. Short presses will move you through the table to each different setting. All right? All right, let's go run this thing.
Talking low through the cottonwood trees, tires kissing stone with a quiet release. Throttle soft, but the power's true. Crawling slow with a MEUS tune. Servo hums like a heartbeat tight. No shake, no skip, just dialed in might. Feather the line where the water winds. Control like that is hard to find. ESC tune for the crawling ride, smooth on descent, torque on the rise. Brush so calm, no panic spin, just let the current pull us in. Crawl by the river, flow in control, with me, us in the rig, we're on a roll. Precision turns, no drift, no stall, that's how we climb, that's how we crawl. Nylon axles with that ISO grace, flex on the rock, still holding place. TRX roots, but now it's clean, upgraded soul in a trail machine. Water creeping past the lugs and treads, still we move with nothing to dread. Every rig's a quiet storm, built to ride where rivers form. Crawl by the river, flow in control, with me, us in the rig, we're on a roll. Precision turns, no drift, no stall, that's how we climb, that's how we crawl. All across the path we twist and climb, no stall, no slip, just perfect time. Servo steady, ESC tune tight, rolling smooth till the fading light. River wides, but the trail rolls on, in the hum of gears the doubt is gone. We don't just drive, we understand, this is me, us working hand in hand. Shadows dance on the hood and stone, but this trail ride feels like we're home. Every hum and turn we trust, built with me, us, not just because. Crawl by the river, no rush, no race, with me, us, under hood we find our pace. Servo sharp, ESC smooth, river rocking tires in the groove. Nylon axles flex just right, trail born rhythm into the night. Dialed to climb, no fear, no fuss, built by me, driven by us.
And there we have it, guys. MEUS is taking this thing from drab to fab with the electronics. That ESC is fantastic. The servo, way better than what we were running in here. I mean, for being a knockoff TRX4M, the truck wasn't that bad, but swapping out the suspension, these axles for sure. We have a full video on these axles, so definitely check that out. But swapping over the electronics, this big beastly Enduro motor that came with the truck, but you add the MEUS ESC there, the transmitter, and the servo, and it just kind of takes it to the next level. It really takes it overboard. Adding a little bit of weight with these MEUS axles definitely helps the brass knuckles. Yeah, so it's a hard body, so it needs all the help it can get. But anyway, it definitely has come alive with the new electronics. I did want to mention the DAC, downhill assist control. It's not really like a drag brake. It's more of a throttle smoothing. So as you're letting off the throttle and giving it more throttle, it kind of smooths out a little more. And I think it has a little bit of resistance in there so that you don't it's not jumpy. Either way, you'll have to mess with that setting and see if you like it with or without. And yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Either way, everything on this guy for 25 bucks is absolutely awesome. Killer deal. And I love how tiny it is. It's the smallest ESC outside of, like I said, the Micro Python. The Micro Python. So, which again, it's like 4 times the price. So you can't go wrong, especially if you're staying brushless or you're looking for a budget build. You cannot go wrong with this thing. Anyway, guys, so I'm excited. It's a fun setup, and this truck sucked before. And now I'm like, it's kind of fun to drive. So I'm definitely digging that. Huge shout out to all the channel members. They get to see everything early before anybody else. yeah, a bunch of other perks to check out if you're interested in being a channel member. Our highest level gets stickers. They also get party comment replies, behind the scenes stuff, special channel in our Discord. If you do like Discord, you want to be part of the community, check that out in the description below. That way you can join. That's where I like to hang out. And so if you have any questions, you can poke in there and ask any questions. A lot of people in the community can help, but worst case scenario, I can jump in there and help you out as well. Also, a big thank you if you made it all the way to the end. Why don't you go ahead and put Brushed ESC down in the comments below. That way we know you made it all the way to the end, because I love it when you guys watch the whole video. I hope you enjoyed the running video. We do have a whole playlist of different running videos and custom music that we make. We really enjoy kind of making that music. It's fun, and I think it kind of gives us something different versus all the royalty-free stuff that everybody always uses the same stuff. And so I have fun doing that, so I like to add that stuff in there. We have a whole playlist of all of our different running videos, so check that out if you're interested in some RC music. Anyway, guys, thank you for the support. Yeah, just trying to make sure I cover all my bases. Make sure you guys subscribe, subscribe, share, notification bell, all those things. They help support the channel, tell the algorithms that it's stuff you want to see, and we hope you enjoy what you do see here. I always try to reply to all the comments as often as I can. I think I've hit everything, so every comment's been replied to. That's tens of thousands of comments, and I kind of pride myself in interacting with my community. So there's a lot of people out there that don't interact with the communities. They just make videos, pump them out, and they never talk to you guys. So a huge thing for me is making sure we build a community and then I interact with you guys. That's why I have tons of Facebook groups. If you don't already know, we're kind of going on a rant here, but Facebook groups, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook page, the Discord for chats, this YouTube channel. We even have our community section on this channel where you can post anything you'd like, kind of like a social media platform you can post on our feed. So if you want to show something off, show us and show everybody else in our community, go ahead and just share it in the feed here on YouTube. Again, let's get our Brushed ESC down in the comments below so we know you made it all the way to the end of the video. It also helps with the algorithm when they see interaction. Plus, maybe you can say something else in that comment and I'll give you an answer, or give you my thoughts, or give you my opinions, or give you my thanks. Either way, get out there, build something awesome, guys. Build a car, build a course, build a community, all those things, super important, and then smash it, crush it, and bash it. But don't break the expensive parts. Peace.
Servo sharp, ESC smooth, river rocking tires in the groove. Nylon axles flex just right, trail born rhythm into the night. Dial to climb, no fear, no fuss, built by me, driven by us.